Hello there, my friends, and welcome to a very special new episode of From Patients to Superfans, where we dive into how to create amazing customer experiences your patients will rave about. My name is Matteo Trusolini. I help healthcare companies and teams start their customer experience revolution by turning their patients into brand ambassadors. Today is a very special episode. As you know, we are going to talk about leadership. And specifically, the question for today would be, what is your leadership style? And so before we dive into this, let me ask you a couple of things. There is something that I would like for you guys to do. And I would like to know, for example, where you're watching from. It is always very interesting to see where you guys are while you watch the show. I will tell you that I am not home, of course. As you can see, we are outside today. And full disclosure, it's a little windy, so you might hear a little wind in the microphone. That's why I'm wearing these guys today. But the reason why I'm here and I'm not home is because I'm taking a little sabbatical to refocus. I'll be back home at work very soon. But also, I'm outside because my daughter is doing remote school inside, and she is absolutely yelling at the computer screen as she's in class. So there's no way for me to do it in there. So here we go. We're gonna make it work. So again, go into the comment section and let me know where you are watching from. The other thing that I want you to do, please, is to let me know if you're watching the live show or if you're watching the replay. And all I ask you to do is to go into the comment section and use hashtag live if you're watching live and hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. And so, are you guys ready to dive into this? Here we go. Before we talk about the different styles of leadership, are you guys familiar with Simon Sinek? He is a very famous author, speaker, and great mind in business, in the business world. And I think that this can help our healthcare community really greatly. I want to read you a couple of his quotes about leadership. Quote number one: authorities act with themselves in mind. Leaders act with others in mind. Sounds familiar? I think you guys can relate to this. Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. Got it? You see the trend? Last one, and then we'll keep going. Great leaders don't see themselves as great. They see themselves as human. I hope this inspires you a little bit. Let's get into the topic for today. So the question is, what is your leadership style? And my friends, I did do some research for you, and I was able to narrow down 8 leadership styles. And it sounds like it might be a lot, but trust me, it is not. And this will be clear towards the end of this live show. Just trust the process. What I want you to do right away is to look at this list on your screen and just pick that one word that defines a leadership style that you believe is yours without even knowing exactly what they are. I want you to do this first, and I want you to write it in the comments right now. I want you to do this because I want to see if at the end of this live show you still agree with what you have chosen. And so let's start. First up is the democratic leader. And let's stay away from politics for a second, but the democratic leader is exactly what it sounds. A democratic leader will make decisions upon inputs from each individual member on their team. Let me say that one more time. They will make decisions after consulting each individual member on the team. Imagine that situation. If it's you, put it in the comments. I am a democratic leader. This, of course, works well in organizations with a flat structure. An organization with a traditional pyramid style, this is going to be a little hard, right? Because usually in those organizations, the decisions come from the top down. So, in my opinion, a democratic leader will promote individuality, right? It gives the chance to everyone on the team to feel like they're part of the decision making, so they're part of the company's future. Also, it will, of course, promote innovation because once you give the powers to your teammates, then they can think outside of the box. Um, then I think also it promotes team spirit, of course, right? But the one thing that I want you to focus on, if you are a democratic leader, is that you need to pay attention to your hiring process. We said already your organization must be a flat structure for an organization for this to work, but also look at your hiring strategies and systems. Because if you're still hiring just for skill sets, this is not going to work. Your mind shift your shift in the hiring strategy would be to start hiring for culture and values and vision alignment. You need to find people who align with your long-term vision and the company's core values and company culture, right? All right. So let's move to the second type of leadership, which is the autocratic leader. And my friends, you understand that's exactly what it is. An autocratic leader is exactly the opposite of the democratic one because not only employees are not considered or consulted, the decisions come from the top down. This is really great for employees if your employees just like to take directions and don't feel that they need to step outside of the box and be creative and help out. So if you are an autocratic leader, no judgment. Just put it in the comments right now. The third style, this is going to be a fun one, is the laissez-faire. I'm going to say it one more time because it's a French expression, laissez-faire. I'm not French, I'm Italian, but I did study French for a split second in middle school. So all my French friends watching, I apologize if I butchered it. Please correct me. You can post a video in the comments to correct my pronunciation. But basically, laissez-faire is a French expression that means literally let them do. So this is the the least intrusive of all the leadership styles. It's the one where there are not many rules, right? There's no major office policies. For example, work hours might be very flexible. It's mostly focused on get the task done by the deadline more than spend 9 to 5 at the office. So we see this leadership style mostly in younger organizations, so in startups, right? But of course, there is always there's always someone who likes to do things differently, and there is a company, hint, hint, that in the middle of at the height of their success, it's one of the most profitable startups. Around year 8 or 9, I believe it was 2013. Again, very profitable. It had been acquired by Amazon in 2009, I believe. So it had financial stability. It decided to just change everything and flip the tables around. So it went from a more traditional structure to what is called holacracy. They adopted the holacracy structure. It's not even a structure. Mindset, model. Holacracy is basically a model for business where there's a lot more freedom for all employees. The press at that point went online saying Zappos fired all the managers. That is not true. What Zappos did was to simply change the role of manager. They also changed the name for managers. They went from managers to lead links. The teams were not teams anymore. They were not departments anymore. They created what they called circles. And they gave autonomy to these circles to form, to write a business plan, and then to get approved and then get in action. This culminated then later on, of course, under the direction and leadership of the late Tony Hsieh, into adopting and moving also to the model of the uh, market-based dynamics, which means that now every circle is basically a company within the bigger company. So these circles now do, for model market-based dynamics system, they have to balance their own P&L. They have to have a business plan. They have to be approved to get funded, right? And to act as a company within the company. So it's an amazing thing that Zappos did. And of course, Zappos works like an incredible incubator for new ideas, right? So if you think that a um, uh, you are a leader that people do give freedom, right? You might be a laissez-faire. So put it in the comments if you think that there's a little part of you that at least does this. All right, so next up is the strategic leader. A strategic leader is basically it's one of the most common ones. So they always have in mind the company goals, but also they take a good look at every opportunity for growth. So this is good for a company that has a mix of employees, employees that like to just follow directions, and employees that like their freedom as well. Usually, this works very well in organizations. It's very common, but also it is I would advise that you pay attention on establishing an agile mindset, because there will be sudden changes that will be taken by the leader in order to take that opportunity for growth. Moving on, we have one of my favorite ones, of course, the transformational leader. And this is one of my favorite ones because transformational leaders are always changing, are in constant change, because nothing is good enough, because good is the enemy of great. This is good for companies whose employees really like to embrace and drive change and are ready for change. And they're ready to move on in any given time. A leader of this sort, a transformational leader, is always pushing their employees outside of their comfort zone, right? So if you think that you are one of those leaders, please write it in the comments. I am one of them. Yell it in the comments. This is good for companies that are focused on growth, on fast growth. The next one up will be the transactional leader. And I mean, my friends, seriously, I can't even describe it more. It says it itself. The name says it. Transactional leaders are the exact opposite of transformation, right? So they focus on rewarding the employees for precisely what the employees do, right? So it's like the carrot stick model, I would call it. It is based on incentives and on and productivity, of course. The roles and responsibilities of each employee are very defined and very rigid. This is also one of the most common styles. This also applies to healthcare. I see it all the time, from the smallest private practice to the biggest healthcare healthcare company or hospital. It is very common. It is no judgmental. But if you are one of these transactional and it's working well for you, write it in the comments. Let me know you are. And then we go to the coach style. And again, I mean, the word says it, right? So as in your favorite football or baseball team, a coach is really important, right? So, and granted that there are good and bad coaches out there, but the idea is the same. So a coach leader likes to nurture each individual's strengths, right? Also, we'll put together a team of people with different skill sets that will complement each other. And of course, we stress the importance of team sports. So usually a coach leader can put together a really good and winning team. On these teams, the factor that is really important, of course, is feedback. And we all know how difficult it is to receive or give feedback that is constructive and that is not taken personally. But we can have a whole brand new, different, separate LinkedIn Live about that. The last uh, style is the bureaucratic leader. Now, a bureaucratic leader, my friends, you understand that goes exactly by the book, follows the rules, will or might consider employees' inputs, right? Will give that freedom, but will kibosh and reject everything that might go against company policies or company history. So this is good for mostly traditional companies. Um, I have a feeling that most of the older banks, still work this way. Not all of them, but most of them. So this would be a good style for them. All right. So you guys, we have gone through 8 different styles, and I want you to know that before you choose yours, I want you to consider this. It is possible, for sure, that you are a hybrid of one or of two or more of these styles. So write in the comments what you have learned. If you thought you were an autocratic leader, but now you figured out you're also strategic, just write it in the comment. No, for me, I am definitely a democratic leader. I am a laissez-faire, and I also am a transformational. I am all these 3 things, and I can't pick one of them over the other one. Um, so do the same exercise and write it in the comments. No, what is your style? I hope that this was kind of helpful for you guys. This is the list. Go through the list and put it in the comments uh, to see if you have found your why and your leadership. With this, my friends, I want to thank you for watching, and I want to encourage you to do. Oh, there you go. I'm back here. All right. What I want you to do is please tell all your friends about our online communities. We have free groups for you. They are free. There's nothing, there's no membership. You will find in these groups online on Facebook or on LinkedIn great value, and you will find your tribe. The LinkedIn uh, group is called, of course, From Patients to Superfans. And if you prefer Facebook, we have a free Facebook group there, and it's called the 5-Star Healthcare Customer Experience. I want you to go there and invite your friends to join the conversation, and I will see you all next time. My name is Matteo Trisolini, and I can't wait to see what you create.